Few insects have captured our imagination like the monarch butterfly. Their migration is one of the most iconic wildlife spectacles in North America, but they are also one of the best environmental indicators we have of the health of our ecosystems. And they have been in decline for the last 40 years. So they might be telling us a bigger story, a story about our relationship with the natural world. Every year, these amazing insects undertake one of the most extraordinary journeys on this planet. It takes from 3 to 5 generations of monarchs to complete the whole migration. And it starts in Mexico, in the spring, when the monarchs that spend the winter there travel back north to lay their eggs. So, the first and second generation of monarchs are born and remain in the USA, and they live up to 6 weeks, more or less. But most migratory monarchs belong to the third and fourth generation. And they emerge in the late summer, early fall, when the days start to get shorter, and it's cooler, and they feel it, and they undergo a hormonal change in their bodies called the diapause. And this puts their mating instinct on hold, and they live longer then. This super generation will live up to 9 months, and they will complete the trip to Mexico, 3,000 miles, to a place where they have never been before. Because remember, they are the great-granddaughters of the butterflies that left in the spring. How they do it, how they find the exact same location remains a mystery. Especially if we consider that the sanctuaries, the forests they are looking for, are located only on 12 isolated mountaintops in central Mexico. And these are the perfect conditions for the monarchs. It is cool and moist in high elevations. But for years, scientists have been trying to answer the same question. How do they exactly find their way? There are many hypotheses. Some say it has to do with geomagnetism. There are evidences that they use visual cues from the landscape, the ridges of the mountains. There's even theories about the odor of the pheromones of previous butterflies that were there the year before. But the truth is that we don't know exactly, and they are continually, actively researching this topic. Physiologist Christine Merlin discovered that the monarchs use their antenna as part of a very sophisticated solar compass. And researchers from the University of Iowa are using this radio tracker to monitor the short-range movement of the monarchs when they feed. But this thing, as you can imagine, is very cumbersome. You cannot track the long-distance migration of a monarch with this. Until recently. A team from University of Michigan is developing what promises to be a breakthrough technology. An ultralight sensor that, combined with an algorithm, will, for the first time, be able to track the single path of one monarch when they make it to Mexico, which is very exciting. But often, for these complex problems, the best and most efficient solutions are the simplest ones. We have been tagging monarchs for 30 years. We use these stickers that are very light, and they contain coded information and information about their origin. And this is how we discover where the monarchs were spending the winter in the 70s. And today, it continues to be one of the most popular environmental educations in North America, with volunteers having tagged more than 2 million butterflies in 30 years. Now, all these challenges that we face to track the monarchs are nothing if we compare them to what the monarchs themselves have to face throughout their long journey, especially starting in the prairies of North America, or at least what is left of them, because every year we are losing 1 million acres of prairie, being transformed into land developments and agricultural fields. And in the 90s, this problem got worse because the widespread use of herbicides combined with genetically modified crops created a new problem. They basically wiped out the native grasses from the fields, including the milkweed. And the milkweed is the host plant of the monarchs. That means they need it to lay their eggs and to feed their hungry caterpillars. Without milkweed, the monarch population started to collapse. Now, our monarchs will continue their journey south, and they will have to face new threats, like roadkill that kills 3% of monarchs every year, or even light pollution from big cities that confuses them. It alters their patterns of sleep. But they will endure and eventually will reach Mexico